What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, StarCraft 2 is back. It is back in the building. Now, last Friday, when I normally do StarCraft 2, I didn't. The reason being, and I briefly mentioned this in Saturday's video as well, is I had two options. I had a condensed cutscenes version and the one that was recommended since then, which is the full cutscenes version for Legacy of the Void. So, I decided to go for the full version, which, looking at it now, is 3 hours, 29 minutes and 17 seconds long. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into maybe 4 or 5 parts at least. This is part 1, and what I'm going to do in this part is I'm going to go for the intro and recap, which I believe is about 6 minutes long, and then I'm also going to watch a separate side video that have been recommended to me by a few people called Reclamation. So I'm going to watch them too, and then part 2 is going to kick off the opening cinematic for Legacy of the Void. So without further ado, let's get into it.
For nearly 300 years, humans thought they were alone in the Koprulu sector.
Koprulu.
They were wrong. The Zerg emerged, seeking to consume all in their path, and before long, the Protoss, a highly advanced alien race, began wiping out infested worlds, burning Zerg and Terran alike. A three-way war, unlike anything humanity had ever faced, erupted almost overnight. All the while, a human civil war raged. Marshal Jim Raynor vowed to oppose the corrupt dictator Arcturus Mengsk for the betrayal of the woman he loved, Sarah Kerrigan.
Boys, how about that evac?
Damn you, Arcturus. Don't do this.
It's done.
Yep.
Helmsman, signal the fleet and take us out of orbit. Now.
Kerrigan, a loyal operative, was left to die at the hands of the Zerg. But the Zerg had other plans.
Damn right
They transformed her and unleashed her psionic power upon the Koprulu sector, searching for their real objective, the Protoss homeworld of Ire. The Protoss were unaware of this danger and slow to respond. Their rulers, the Conclave, had dispatched Executor Artanis to hunt for Tassadar, a commander who had refused to wipe out infested Terran worlds. They crossed paths with a Dark Templar mystic, whose kind was considered heretics by the Conclave. Through great effort, Zeratul convinced Tassadar and Artanis that he was not their enemy. Together they rallied more Protoss from both factions against the Zerg. Despite the Conclave's fury, they achieved significant victories against the Swarm. But when Zeratul struck down one of the Overmind's Cerebrits, his own mind was left vulnerable. From his thoughts, the Overmind gleaned Ire's true location, and the Swarm descended upon the Protoss homeworld with all their might and fury. It was Tassadar who kept the Templar from extinction that day. Using the power of both the Templar and the Dark Templar, he sacrificed himself to kill the Overmind. Ire was lost, but Artanis led the survivors to the Dark Templar's homeworld of Shakuras. Old prejudices were set aside. The Templar were now in the Dark Templar's debt. Without the Overmind, the Swarm fractured. Kerrigan sought control of all the Zerg, even enlisting the aid of old friends and enemies like Raynor, Mengsk, and Zeratul. Once her rule was uncontested, the Queen of Blades betrayed them all. Billions of humans and Protoss were killed. The Zerg stood unchallenged, but to the relief of all, the war seemed to end there. Zeratul suspected the Zerg had fallen under the control of dark forces. He uncovered prophecies stating that an ancient entity, Amon, was attempting to merge Protoss and Zerg lifeforms into an unholy hybrid.
Wow.
And that this evil might already have control of Kerrigan and her power.
Wow, what a bad.
It was during this time that Executor Artanis, hailed as a hero, was made leader of both the Templar and the Dark Templar. As Hierarch, Artanis united both factions and promised to one day reclaim the glory they had lost on Ire. Raynor had vowed to see Kerrigan dead, but his retaliatory strike failed. Even his rebellion against Mengsk's tyranny proved ineffective against the Dominion's propaganda machine. But with the arrival of old friends and mysterious new allies, Raynor revived his campaign against the Dominion, scoring major victories on multiple fronts. But Zeratul warned him about the encroaching darkness and said the key to stopping Amon was the Queen of Blades.
Yep.
She was needed alive. In a daring raid on the Zerg homeworld of Char, armies from the Dominion and Raynor, with help from Arcturus' son Valerian, used an ancient Zelnaga artifact to neutralize Kerrigan's power.
So
and
Wings
free
of
her from
Liberty.
Amon's grasp.
Yeah, that was obviously what we saw in Wings of Liberty, didn't we? The cutscenes from that one.
The Queen of Blades was helpless. The Dominion wanted her dead. Raynor couldn't allow it.
Yeah.
It's okay. I got you.
Valerian Minsk offered them sanctuary, but his father could not let this opportunity pass. During the raid, Kerrigan and Raynor were separated. Kerrigan escaped, while Raynor...
He was briefly interrogated and summarily executed.
Kerrigan sought vengeance. She set out to reclaim her position as Queen of Blades. With Zeratul's guidance, Kerrigan gathered the Zerg broods and ruled the swarm once again. Only this time, free.
The killing will never stop. Until Minsk is dead.
Kerrigan began dismantling the Dominion's military, one mission at a time. To her surprise, she learned that Raynor was still alive.
Yep.
She chartered a course to Korhal, Minx's stronghold. Despite encountering his best troops and traps, she personally ended his life. But there was little time to celebrate. Amon's plans were still unfolding. Kerrigan left Raynor to rebuild, while she hunted her true enemy. Raynor and Valerian Minx set about reforming the Dominion, with a just government. With the Zerg and Terrans quelled, Hierarch Artanis saw an opportunity. He declared that the unified Protoss, Templar and Dark Templar alike, would retake Ire. Any dissenting voices went unheard amid the hope for reclamation. Zeratul set off alone, searching for the truth, hoping against hope that the Hierarch was not making a terrible mistake.
Right, okay, so that I think is gonna be it. Yeah. So that's going to be the opening for next week. But the first 6 minutes 50 seconds is really good because there's certain parts I presume were taught it was showing were part of the first Starcraft, maybe the original Starcraft. It's good to show obviously the past history of what went on before. Not Legacy of the Void, before Wings of Liberty. I've only watched from the Wings of Liberty cutscene. It's interesting to see obviously what's going on before and also what's going on in the background that's going to obviously tie in with what I'm going to watch now. There seems to be a lot more going on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to watch Reclamation, which should tie in with that last minute of this video, and then next week I'm going to get onto the opening cinematic for Legacy of the Void. Reclamation. Oh, okay. Okay, skills.
I wish to be alone, Caldalis.
Your warriors question your whereabouts.
We are an ancient people. There are few of us left. And tomorrow, I send so many to die.
If you doubt our capabilities...
I do not doubt them, old friend. I doubt my own motives. And if I doubt, so will they.
Wow.
What cause could be more noble than reclaiming our home?
Ire is our past, but is it our future?
Ire is our heritage.
The Aeon of Strife is also our heritage. We do not cling to it or want its return. We acted no better than animals and nearly drowned Ire in our own blood.
But from that conflict, the Great Cause opened our minds. brought us the glory of the Kala. And our every emotion, our every thought became as one. With the Kala, we found unity. We rose from our failings. We made Ire a beacon of progress in the galaxy. The envy of the stars.
But in the glory of the Kala's light, so sure of our righteous destiny, we once again turned on our brothers.
You speak of the Dark Templar.
Yes. They chose to reject all that we are and sever themselves from the Kala.
Of the Kala. And our every emotion, our every thought became as one. With the Kala, we found unity. We rose from our failings. We made Ire a beacon of progress in the galaxy. The envy of the stars.
But in the glory of the Kala's light, so sure of our righteous destiny, we once again turned on our brothers.
You speak of the Dark Templar.
Yes. They chose to reject all that we are and sever themselves from the Kala.
Right. Okay.
We branded them heretics, tried to destroy them. We had forsaken our unity, and like the Aeon of Strife, that division made us weak. We were punished by fate for that weakness. Because of our certainty, Ire fell to the Zerg.
I watched our home burn. Our honor lost.
Countless lives lost. There will be more bloodshed in this invasion. More friends fallen. Because we cling to an ideal that may have passed.
I refuse to accept that. Do you not see the symmetry in this moment? Driving the Dark Templar away was a sin. But today, because you have united us, we fight together. The lives lost tomorrow will be the price of our future.
An easy sentiment from one who is not sending them to die!
From one who is being sent to die. I will be among the first to spill Zerg blood. I am a Kundelar, the tip of the spear.
Kundelar. Few will survive the first wave. Why?
Because I know of no higher honor. I volunteered for a chance to give my life for our home. To make a world for all Protoss once more. You made me believe in that.
A world for all Protoss once more. It will be because of warriors like you.
Come back, Artanis. Lead us home.
Kaldalis.
My life for Ire.
Okay.
My life for Ire.
Okay, that was good. Yeah. Wow, what an epic ending. What an epic ending. So I'm so glad I've actually watched this, because it's going to make so much more sense when I move into the opening cinematic as well. So the first thing that's coming to me that I want to say is I really enjoy the actual animation. The kind of the still frames with the actual normal animation really works, at least in my opinion. Really reminds me of some of the miniseries that you have in World of Warcraft. So that's the first thing. Secondly, I like how it shows how they communicate with each other. So obviously you're hearing it, but they're not speaking verbally, are they? I believe the Protoss, they communicate telepathically, and the actual effects of the voices kind of show that as well. And also, for someone like me watching it for the first time, I've got no understanding of the Protoss. I don't know anything about the Protoss, their abilities, their past, or anything of that like, and it's good to see obviously their past. Now, it showed a little bit about where they came from, the mistakes they made, how the actual Zerg found their homeworld in the first place, and over the struggles of this leader thinking, is it worthwhile actually going back, because there's certain aspects of our heritage that we need to let die. And he obviously referred to the past where they were killing each other, and also the past where they were killing a faction of themselves. I believe it's a faction of themselves that actually cut themselves off from the collar, and I don't know what the collar is. I don't know where it came from, and obviously it's some kind of technology that helps them advance. I don't know where it came from or what it represents or even what it wants, but it showed, didn't it, that they'd made mistakes in the past because of almost like their customs sort of thing, what they were used to doing in the past. And I like it showed that they'd obviously made mistakes, and the leader didn't want to fall into that trap once again. But obviously the actual general actually convinced him that it was worthwhile for them to go back and fight and potentially die to reclaim their homeworld. So I like it did that, and for me it kind of like nicely tees up or sets up the events that are going to happen in part 2, which is going to be next Friday, which is going to be the opening cinematic. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed my thoughts and reaction on part 1, this kind of quick first video. I will be going through the whole thing, which is 3.5 hours long, so I will not miss anything on Legacy of the Void. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, feel free to let me know. Feel free to like, comment, and maybe also subscribe if you've not done so already, and I will see you guys in the next one.